Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar. We've got your top player prop bets for this weekend's Wildcard Weekend Showdown. The first of a triple header on Sunday is going to be the Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos. So we've got your best player prop bets, your touchdown calls, and then we'll tell you which team we're rolling with in this contest. But first, if you can do us a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below for your chance to win $50. If we go 3-0 on our player props, one randomly selected commenter will win $50. So you got to be in it to win it. Make sure to do that. It helps us out. What also helps you out is if you download one of our partners' apps, Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard, and ParlayPlay. That's where all of our picks are available. And if you use the promo code LineStar, you'll get a nice deposit match plus 1 free month of the LineStar app. We'll be referencing the LineStar app throughout this video with our projections, and that's the tool that we're using. It's called the PropsAI tool, so you can check that out for yourself if you'd like at LineStarApp.com. All right, let's get into this Denver Broncos Buffalo Bills game. Should be a good one, and I've seen a lot of analysts on TV lately saying that maybe Buffalo didn't get the best draw in this matchup because you've got to contend with the Denver Broncos, a team this year that is boasting one of the best defenses in the NFL. And what a story with Bo Nix, their quarterback, having quite the season. Tyler, any initial impressions before we dive into the handicapping of this one?
It's pretty awesome to see what Denver has done. But yeah, I mean, Denver has been a sneaky good team all season long. I definitely wouldn't want to go against them, but clearly Buffalo is the more polished, better team.
Yeah, and this one, of course, in Buffalo. So before we get into our player prop bets, we do have to note the weather, of course, in this game. It's going to be a cold one. It's typical winter in Buffalo kind of weather, below freezing temperatures. Right now, it's not calling for any snow or gusting wind, so not too much of a weather impact in this game. As far as injuries, Tyler, I think this is one of the best injury reports I've seen in quite a while heading into a contest, and it's looking like Buffalo actually could be one of the healthiest teams. Their entire roster could actually be intact. Not much out of Denver's camp either as far as injuries are concerned. So that's great for handicapping purposes. So let's just dive right into our player prop bets using that PropsAI tool. We're going to have one from the PropsAI tool, and then Tyler and I will each give our favorite pick. So let's start off with LineStar's pick of the night, and we're going with Denver Broncos wide receiver Courtland Sutton, over 64.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection for Sutton is 70.4. He's averaging right around where the line is, 63.6 receiving yards per game. And Sutton's been over just about half of games this season, going up against a Buffalo team that has shown some cracks in their pass defense. They actually rank 28th in pass defense DVOA versus wide receiver ones, and that takes into account quality of opponent. But from the standpoint of Courtland Sutton, what a great receiver and what chemistry he has with Bo Nix there at quarterback for Denver. That's been kind of a dynamic duo for them, and they're going to need to lean into it if they want to beat the Buffalo Bills. What do you think?
Yeah, it's wild. Buffalo was a team that I'm just not going to play wide receivers against kind of for a majority of the season. And then they just totally fell off over the last half. Over the last 10 games, our team defense tool has them at 27th versus the wide receiver one. So very similar to the DVOA number there. And I mean, they're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball to Sutton a lot. 64.5 is just a low number. I like him to get over that.
Yeah, I think the game script in this one, when you have the Bills favored by 8.5 points in this one, you're looking at a Denver Broncos team that's going to have to be aggressive on offense and keeping up with the Buffalo Bills in this one. So I don't mind it from a game script perspective. Don't mind it from all the underlying stats that we just talked about. All right, now it's time for Tyler and I to each give our favorite pick in this game. Tyler, what you rolling with?
I'm going to get a little different and go to the non-existent Denver Bronco running game, and we're betting the over. We're going with Jaleel McLaughlin over 30.5 rushing yards here. Our LineStar projection, it's to the under. It's only 27.3. Our consensus is over. It's at 35. Now, when I was digging into the numbers, this is kind of what I found is over this second half, he's been used a lot more. And in games where he had at least 7 carries, he was over in 6 of the 8 of them. He has had 7 or more carries in every game since week 12. He is the most explosive Denver running back they have. He's been getting a bigger workload down the stretch. Javonte is barely getting carries. He's pretty much just being used in the receiving game. And with all of that, I think McLaughlin is going to get a bigger share than people think this coming weekend. And we're going to go over 30.5.
All right, let's do it. For my pick, I'm going to the Buffalo running back in this one. And this actually might be one of my favorite picks of Wild Card Weekend. James Cook, over 10.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection here for Cook is 15 receiving yards. The consensus is with us to the over as well at 16.4. And Cook is averaging 16.1 receiving yards per game. In 13 games this season where Cook's been targeted at least one time in the game, he has been over that 10.5 mark 9 of 13. And going up against a Denver defense that we've talked about, they're a good defense. However, specifically against running backs in the receiving game, 31st in pass defense DVOA versus running backs. And Denver's actually allowing 37.7 receiving yards per game to the running back position. And I looked back at running backs they've faced recently. 6 of the last 8 have gone over that 10.5 mark. Samaje Perine in a game that didn't really matter to the Chiefs, he put up 13 receiving yards. Chase Brown for the Bengals had 24. Nick Chubb for the Browns had 24. Amir Abdullah for the Raiders, 37. Bijan Robinson for the Falcons with 28. And Kareem Hunt, 65. And we're talking about James Cook, who is a very viable pass catcher with good hands, great route running skills. We've also got to take into account that if you're Denver, you're likely trying to shut down the run game altogether with James Cook and trying to limit Josh Allen in this one. So I think the Bills will be forced into maybe some shorter pass situations, and that's where James Cook can really thrive in this contest. So that 10.5 number, I know this is a good defense that we're facing, but I think he goes over that 10.5 mark. Any thoughts on James Cook here?
I mean, he's an electric player. They're going to be using him a little bit more than they were in the regular season because it really matters now. So, I mean, I like this number a lot.
All right. So those three again, Sutton, McLaughlin, and James Cook, we're going to roll with them on an entry on Underdog. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you are tailing, if you're fading, or if you've got any other locks, please drop them below because we're all trying to help each other out and beat the books. And again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, and you are in it to win it. If we go 3-0, $50 to a randomly selected commenter, and we will announce that next week as we preview our divisional matchups. All right, now it is time for touchdown calls of the game. Tyler, where are you headed for an anytime touchdown? Where's the value for a touchdown in this one?
You know what? I'm going to go with Josh Allen minus 120 for a touchdown. You know, it's not a nice value prop. It is. We are paying a little vig here to get it. But hey, it's Josh Allen in the playoffs. And in games where it matters, where it's close, where he has to put the game on his back, he has done so, and he has 12 rushing touchdowns this year. Those all primarily came in games that really mattered, that he had to put the team on his back and carry them to victory. It's the playoffs time. He's going to do that every single game of the playoffs. So I expect a rushing touchdown for him.
Yeah, it's a playoff game. It's cold weather. So, you know, Josh Allen, who's basically the abominable snowman, will get it done. And I like actually minus 120, like for a Josh Allen touchdown, I think we're going to see it in this one. All right, let's go to my touchdown call. And I'm going to go with the guy that we took over on receiving yards, Courtland Sutton for the Denver Broncos at plus 155, because I like the value here we're getting for a guy who's had 8 touchdowns during the regular season and specifically 10 red zone targets over the last 8 weeks, which is actually 4th most among all wide receivers that are playing this weekend in Wild Card Weekend, according to the LineStar app. Plus, I mentioned as we were taking his over on receiving yards, going up against a Buffalo defense that's just 28th in pass defense DVOA versus wide receiver ones. Courtland Sutton has excellent chemistry with Bo Nix, and I expect them to be super aggressive on offense, especially early on, to try to keep up with Buffalo and keep the pressure on in this one. If they've got any shot of pulling off the upset, they got to look to Courtland Sutton early and often in this one, and hopefully it's in the end zone for a touchdown so we can cash that entry. Let us know where you're headed as well in touchdown calls in the comments below. And of course, when I talk about the red zone, I'm also talking about the LineStar app and using that tool as well. So check that out if you are checking out the LineStar app. Really great tool if you guys are into those touchdown entries on your betting slips. All right, now let's talk about this game overall. Right now, the Buffalo Bills are 8.5 point favorites. for a good reason. The product that they put on the field this season was awesome. And Josh Allen, even losing Stephon Diggs, has shown that, doesn't need it. What is your impression, though, of this matchup against the Denver Broncos? 8.5. It's a lot of points when you're talking about a wild card playoff matchup, even though it is in Buffalo where Josh Allen has thrived. They haven't lost at home yet. Any impressions?
I would take Josh Allen and the points and Buffalo winning here. Pretty much they've blown everybody out at home. The only real close game they had at home was against the Patriots in pretty bad weather there. But outside of that, they've pretty much beat everybody by 9+ at home.
Yeah. I keep going back and forth on this one, but ultimately the stat that I looked at was really the Denver Broncos. They're 10-7 over the course of the regular season, and they've only really been blown out once. Every other loss has come by 7 points or less. So for me, I actually don't mind taking, the points in this one with the Denver Broncos here. So I just think 8.5, it seems like a lot. No, I don't know. I know you're going with the Bills, but especially when you consider Sean Payton, and that's defense. That's if you're comparing teams, right? You got to think Broncos have the better defense in this one statistically and all that. So for this kind of a game, I don't know, but I do get it. Josh Allen, likely MVP this season, having an incredible season. Where I think that the Denver Broncos will. What they'll try to do at least is definitely try to get to Josh Allen, limit him, rushing specifically. And where Josh Allen in the past has struggled is when he tries to put too much on his shoulders and kind of can force some things. And that's when he gets into some mistakes with interceptions and stuff. We haven't, he's had an incredible season thus far and really hasn't run into that, but he has in the past. And so it'll be interesting to see what Sean Payton draws up from a defensive perspective to try to get Josh Allen off his game in this one. So I don't mind, going with the Broncos against the spread in this one. So that I don't think I would.
We're fighting, and I think we're different in every single game we've done so far.
I know we we are. That's a good thing. That way you let us know who you're backing in this one in the comments. But it's all good. We're at least together on our player props in this one. Again, if you've got any locks, drop them in the comments below. Let us know if you've got any analysis for this game, what you're rolling with, whether it be sides in this one, game total, player props. We're all here to help each other out and try to make some money on this wild card weekend. Remember to bet responsibly. Also check out that LineStar app that we've been referencing throughout the video, linestarapp.com. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you guys next time, and make sure to keep it locked on the LineStar YouTube channel because we got game by game breakdowns of all the wild card games. Good luck, everybody. See you next time.